A pleasant day to you, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Tanya Zamandaro of the In Details podcast, and today I'm joined by this lovely lady. How are you?
How are you?
I'm good. How's everything?
I'm doing fine, as you can see.
You're smiling all over. So life is good, right?
Now everything is doing well.
Yeah, without me wasting much of our time, I think let's get straight into it. Today we're talking about mental health.
Okay.
In women, more specifically, because you're a woman, so there's no way I will be speaking about mental health somewhere else. I really want to talk about issues which will be affecting you as women.
Okay.
So let's get straight into it. What do you understand about mental health, mental illness, especially in women?
Okay. So basically, being a woman,
yes,
working at a mental health facility.
Yes.
To give you terms that you can easily understand, I'd say mental health is the overall psychological well-being of a person, whether they are okay, especially in those terms we're saying they are happy, they are calm, they're confident, as well as other sides like they are depressed, they are going through things, they have anxiety, they have post-traumatic stress disorder, they're experiencing a lot of things. So mental health encompasses everything, basically. The good things whereby we're saying somebody is extremely happy, you understand that when we get into detail whereby we're talking about mental health issues or illnesses that involve someone being extremely happy, extremely excited, and are not able to control it. They are over the top, they are overwhelmed, and whereby we talk about them feeling sad, feeling hopeless, feeling low, suicidal, and all of that.
All right. I understand that, especially concerning about mental health in women. They always say that psychologically our brain as men are just built different with the brain of you as ladies. So the way you accommodate life changes everything. What just happen in life is different with the way we accommodate everything. So they always say a lady's mind it's more empathy and emotional understanding. So that emotional understanding makes you to be more vulnerable to a lot of mental health circumstance. Maybe the changes in life will affect you. That maybe you'll be like, that small thing, you just take it like a big thing. It's not like us guys. Small things are small things, big things are big. But you ladies, a small thing, you just take it like, yo, is a big thing. So that, with that only, that empathy, that too much empathy, too much understanding, too much emotional understanding that you have will make you very, very vulnerable to
you kind
to
of
that illness.
Okay, let me stand to correct you. You kind of have the idea, but the understanding now, according to this,
all right,
it's not because women are too. Yes, women get emotionally attached to things more than men do. But the reason why you would say in that case women are affected more, and men, small things are small things.
Small things are small things.
It's the rate at which men commit suicidal more than women do is the one that explains this whole thing better. It explains it in the sense that women, being women, they have that emotional understanding. They have a bigger heart. They have the essence to control things, to want so much things to go off. For example, if it's your mother, he wants so much to do with you that he wants everything that is happening to you to flow. But when it doesn't, because of that love, she gets affected, yes. But at times we are saying that if you're going through things, you go to your mother. If family, on the household setup, something is wrong. The woman has that to bear. If anything goes wrong in any setup, the woman has so much to bear more than the man does.
Yes.
So basically we're saying women are backbones of a lot of things than men are. They are in control of so much more than men are, such that they are prone to stressing more than men are doing in that case. That's why you find if a man stressed by any simple thing, instead of holding it like women do, they may be stressed by 10 things, but life is going on like that and all of that. But when 2 things stress a man, they can commit suicide.
So are you saying So are you saying you ladies have this capability?
There is a resilience in women that is found in women more than it is found in men. So that resilience sometimes results them in affecting.
Okay, you've just
being affected.
You really expressed the way that I really understand. Like, okay, that's why women are acting this way as compared to why us men are acting that way.
Exactly.
All right. So there are these events like lifetime events, just natural events which may trigger a lot of things which may cause a lot of people, like a lot of ladies, to be prone to mental illness. So the first one, maybe you may at least you are an expert about this. So yes, you have some know-how which is far much better than maybe the way I know it. But the first one, I understand hormone fluctuation in ladies.
Okay.
Hormone fluctuation. Us guys, we don't have that hormone fluctuation. Like in the morning, I'm good. In the afternoon, I'm good. In the evening, I'm good. But a lady, in the morning, she may be good. In the afternoon, yo! In the evening, yo! So, with my own understanding, I understand that fluctuations are they always say low levels of estrogen in ladies, it may cause some physical challenges. Let's say like night stress, night sweating. Somebody say difficulties in sleeping, something like that. So it may cause some depression or anxiety in the long run. So, what can you say concerning about your fluctuations are in the way you just your moods, your fluctuations are in the hormone cycle? Because somebody say low level for estrogen, it may even lead to, they say, premature cycle. Well, I don't even know. Men as many something like that. I don't even know the term, but something like that. What can you say about that?
I'd say yes, of course, hormonal fluctuations can result in somebody being moody and all that. But I don't know if ever it was shared among you to understand that, yes, genetically, of course, genetics are a part of why somebody can have mental illness. Because when you walk into a mental health hospital and you're being evaluated, of course, one of the major things that we ask you is, is there anyone who ever had mental challenges?
All right.
That's the question. Because it's genetically, some of the mental illnesses can be genetically inborn.
All right, so
by genetically inborn, that's when we involve things like what you're saying, hormones fluctuations, whereby we're saying chemical imbalances in the brain, whereby we are saying a lot of things are happening inside of your brain, and it's all part of genetics. So it can be hereditary or it's not. But anyway, back to that. You talked of women having moods, being the other person in the morning, being the other person in the afternoon. But I would say being the other person in the morning or being a different person in the afternoon doesn't result in one having a mental illness per se. But it's just women like that. Because men who experience mental illness challenges also go through those episodes of this morning they're the next person, this morning they're the other person. But we can say they may be part of symptoms that a person is facing a mental illness challenging depending on the days. So I'll explain to you, there's a mental illness that is known as bipolar. It's really common to you guys, and people say, bipolar. But do people understand what bipolar is? That's a mood disorder, whereby we are saying that a person is experiencing depressive episodes and manic episodes. That's what I had said in the first thing, that when we're talking about mental health, we are saying your current feelings right now. Right now you're calm, you're happy, you're okay. You ask me, I'm happy, yes, I'm happy, I'm calm. It's part of mental health. When I'm sad, when I'm hopeless, it's part of mental health. In the aspect that we're saying, if one is facing mental health issues and is diagnosed with bipolar, they are experiencing manic episodes whereby you're too happy, you're extremely on the top, you're doing it, you're overdoing it in that happiness. It's not the normal thing that is being done. That's a mental illness. Because there's a time that you see the way this person is too happy, it's not correct.
So I'm saying mental health, it's not about being too sad only, even too happy.
Exactly.
Too much excitement can be a problem also.
Exactly. Because when somebody is in a manic episode, as I mentioned before, I'm working at a mental health facility. When somebody is in a manic episode, they are there, they are dancing so much, they have so much energy, until you're like, are they not tired? They are so happy, they are greeting everyone who's coming in and out, until you guys get an injection for them, so you can neutralize them. They are singing louder. If you leave them, they can go on like from morning to like evening. And if anyone is just passing by, they're just like, she's a happy person. She's a happy person. But that's too much excitement has triggered something. And they are now in an episode. And they're having a manic episode. They're extremely doing something. Even when those people have money. So these manic episodes get triggered into doing something that you like the most, or that you enjoy doing on a random day when you're okay. So let's say we're talking about a rich person who has money. When they get into a manic episode of bipolar, and they're extremely happy, they even overspend. Like buying the type of buying which is not normal. We already know you have this and that, and you have it. You can go and buy the same shoes that you have. You just want to buy because you just want to buy. You're extremely happy. You're over the top. You're over the bar. You're doing everything in extras. Even if it's food, you buy pizza, you buy KFC, you buy everything. And people think, probably, I don't know what she's trying to do, because they can see you just walking there. Probably you've already left it in the car. And you go and buy something else. Nobody knows. They just think it's a normal person buying food. So that's that part where we're saying extreme happiness. There's a certain time we draw the line. There's a point where we draw the line. And then it comes also to the parts where we're saying you are extremely sad. You're feeling hopeless. You don't see as if tomorrow it's gonna be better. You are shattered. You're in your own space. You don't even want to talk to anyone, or rather, if you're talking, it's not much. You're not giving much. The communication is broken down. There is a dysfunction in you. You don't want to work. You don't want to wake up to normal activities. You don't want to do anything. That's when the insomnia part comes as well. You go through a lot of insomnia. You're not able to sleep because you're in your head. You're thinking so much. You're in your own world. You're not able to sleep. And when you're not able to sleep, for you to want to sleep, you need an enhancer. That's when you see someone buying so much alcohol, they start abusing substance. Or there's an alcohol use disorder that's there. It's because somebody's trying so hard to cover up for that. That's also bipolar. So you understand that this is extreme. So the moods now range from days to months. It's not that type of mood swings whereby, that's why I laughed, whereby we're saying, this woman was happy in the morning, but right now they're just sad, or they seem irritated the next morning, and then the next morning in the evening, oh, they are quite okay, and then the following day they are okay. But we're talking of mood swings that range from days to months, whereby we're saying, good, this pattern that we've been seeing has been going on from a certain number of days to a month. This has been going on for 2 weeks to a month. This has been going for 2 months. Now we see that, no, this is not normal. Now this is a disorder. Now this is a mental illness. Now this is bipolar. And then that's when we diagnose, we venture into understanding, is it type 1, is it type 2? You see?
Okay, so it seems like you've just tackled concerning about I was talking about fluctuations. I mean,
exactly.
If fluctuations are in hormones are in you ladies, what it may cause, right? So how about now I'm just talking about causes, things which may trigger people to venture into the mental thing, something like that, especially to a woman. So let's say in an event like as a lady, you have first something like infertility.
Okay.
Infertility or miscarriages, something like you really want to be a mother, but now you really know that you are not going to do this, and it's affecting you and it's eating you up on a daily basis. Something like that might it not cause some harm, overthinking that may go to depression or anxiety in the long run?
Of course it does, because we're saying for one to acquire a mental illness, these are mental challenges. These are things that are on your brain. These are things that are draining you, environment-wise, life-wise, health-wise, everything. You're being drained. So of course in that situation, you're bound to get a mental illness. That's when you either find a woman, they have post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. It's caused by traumatic events like that. You have miscarriages. You're traumatized. And in your head, you're always startled, always looking to defend, even in a setup whereby you're just traveling, you're in a commuter omnibus. Somebody just talks about for a woman to be a woman, they need children. Of course, you lash out, you go crazy about it. They're not talking about you, it's just a story. But because it has affected you, you go all out, you're defensive. Most of them, yes, they go PTSD, you get into hospital, you're admitted because you're depressed. And then you can't cope, you end up not sleeping. Some of them you do, but it's always difficult.
All right.
At times, some of them develop further mental illnesses, because with stress, the more you stress, the more you're in your head than you're in the world, the more you develop these things. So there is PTSD, or because of that, you can develop also what is called MDD. We call that major depressive disorder. It's major, it's lengthy. What is caused? We're looking at what has caused it, the duration of how it has been going on. So when it's lengthy, when it has different circumstances, characteristics in it, whereby the rate at which you don't sleep, the rate at which you don't want to do things, the rate at which you're avoiding things, all of that, we can group you or be diagnosed with major depressive disorders, or some people even develop personality disorders because they don't know who they are. These are all different kind of mental illnesses. These women go through because they've miscarried, they're infertile, because community has something to say about you. People have something to say about you. Personality disorder also involves somebody just wandering around. Like, it's because of that, to some of them, I want to leave this place. But where are you going? Are you running away from yourself, really? Because even if you go wherever you're going, you have that situation. It's not going to take a long time until the people from there find out you're also going through that. So you're going to always continue running around. But they think running away, or just moving around is better. Already that's a mental illness. You're going on back and forth.
I really want to put this another thing. I always think it will cause mental disorder. Trauma. Let's say you were abused violently, physically, emotionally, especially as a lady. You've been abused, you've been exposed to that abuse. Maybe you didn't clearly handle it. Due to time, maybe in the long run, that thing will be continuing or carrying recurrence in your mind. Doesn't it even also cause a lot of...
It does. It's encompassed in PTSD because that's the trauma part. The post is because it happened in the back before. Post, it happened before. Traumatic, now it's traumatizing you, and it has turned into a disorder because it happened. Be it miscarriage, as you said first, and now you said as well, abuse, it's part of it. Even death can be put under that because it happened and it traumatized you. Someone you loved so much dies in your hands. You're looking at it. You may be afraid to even love people because you think they die.
Yeah,
you love them.
I really want to put this point like relationship failure.
It's also a part of it. If your loved one die in your hands, they are also scared to get into another relationship. PTSD, you feel like, what if I fall in love? What if they die again? What if they die in my hands? But it's not your fault. People die because we live to die.
It's part of life.
It's part of life. But for them to get that understanding, it's not like that to them anymore. It's like, I have a problem,
Okay, so let's go straight into the disorders. I think the mental health disorders women may face. I think the first one now, which is very common, I think you can enlighten me. Depression. A lot of people will be like depressed. Everything that I started, it will just always go to somebody being depressed. So I think you can just talk something about depression or anxiety. Depression and anxiety.
Yeah, there are anxiety disorders. There is depression is one. Then a major depressive disorder is another thing as well, because this is extra, and there's a lot more in terms of how it affected you, how lengthy it is, because to some people you can be depressed and we can treat you, but for like a short period of time. And then when somebody has MDD, it can be for a year, 2 years. You know what we're talking about is the period. So anxiety disorders, there's depression, there's major depressive disorders, there's anxiety disorders, there is BAD, the one that I was talking about. It's called bipolar affective disorder. Bipolar affective disorder. Women also face postpartum depression. It's another different type of depression that comes after giving birth.
I really want to talk about pregnancy. Can pregnancy affect somebody's mental health?
Yes, it can. It does. Especially after giving birth.
The pressure of
being a mother. You are a mother to the child. You are a mother to the family. You are also a worker who goes to work. You need to go to work. You need to come home and be a mother to your child. You need to be a wife to your husband. There are a lot of things that you need to do. And without so much support that you can get in order to be able to do all of that things, you can fall into postpartum depression, and it's very serious. People take it lightly. She just gave birth. It's something that we take lightly, or when somebody is not feeling mentally well according to that, we don't take it lightly. But there's a case of a person that I know. They gave birth and they went mute after a couple of months.
Mute?
Yes, mute for 2 years as a result of that postpartum depression.
Dang.
2 years. It's severe. People take mental health lightly. It's something that is very serious. So it's severe. 2 good years.
Without talking, somebody just mute.
Without talking. And if they are so excited, they are happy, they want to express it, they smile, they cry. But, it's a lot. So women go through a lot of things. But you're just, because men, as you said, it's just a child. You just gave birth to a child. But
we expect that to come from you.
It's expected of you, but do you come to terms to understanding, am I being supportive? Am I offering whatever is being needed? Am I helping? So that someone doesn't feel like the other woman said, I felt like the world is crumbling on my shoulders. It's carrying so much. And this child is crying, is not sleeping. He is coming back home drunk and happy. And he sleeps. And this child is crying. And that child also wants to go to school, to be dropped to school by that same woman. And that same man also wants to get food from that same woman who's trying to keep up. So it's a lot. We need to support these people, because 2 years, it's not a joke. For someone, it's severe. It would have hit hard for somebody to just go mute like that.
Damn. I didn't know that it can affect somebody to reach an extent of 2 years.
Exactly, 2 years. 2 years in my first experience, I was like, 2 years.
All right, how about substance abuse?
Yeah, substance abuse does trigger.
Substance abuse, somebody's just, I know somebody say, we're talking about chemistry.
Drugs we call that substance-induced psychosis. Whereby we're saying the psychosis, that mental illness part you're getting, is a result of the substances that you've been taking. The psychosis that you're going through is induced by something that you're taking. That SIP, it's very common, but it can happen. But it's for SIP, for substance, it's most common in men more than it is in women on substance use. That's why I hadn't mentioned it on the first, but it does affect your mental health. It does affect the way you behave, the way you're thinking, the way you do things, because you're not able to think rationally.
All right. So how about after all these, which we were just talking about, then comes the story of suicidal thoughts. Suicidal thoughts, because obvious after you've just do think about this, the main reason why people will not be thinking about suicide is because there's someone who's helping them, right? So besides having somebody helping you, telling you this and that and that and that, and the suicidal thing.
Okay, before I talk about suicide, I'd forgotten to mention another common illness. It's called schizophrenia. So other people are schizophrenic. By the way, that's where we're saying it's a bunch of mental disorders. When there are more than one depicted, you have this, you have that, you have that. You get to be schizophrenic.
All right.
Talking about suicidal ideation is commonly experienced in people with bipolar.
All right.
Type 2. The one whereby we're talking about being sad, being hopeless. You're not even thinking about tomorrow. You're not doing anything. You're dysfunctional, literally. Because most people with schizophrenia, they don't want to do They don't want to do things. They don't bath. That's the major. They don't want to bath. They don't want to clean themselves. But they don't think about killing themselves, those guys.
All right.
They're just off-grid, doing whatever that they're doing, which is totally off-grid. But with type 2 bipolar, that's where we experience a lot of suicidal ideation that is experienced. Because we're saying you're too sad, you're on the lower side. So that's when you get to feel like you want to kill yourself. But with everyone and every other person, you can't, because we're saying these people are feeling hopeless. They're dysfunctional. They're literally not doing things. So for example, if you were working, you can get fired from work.
All right.
Because you're dysfunctional. You don't want to wake up to face tomorrow's events. You don't want to do anything. So in the end, you're just in your own space. It's a dark space, and you're hopeless. So the end result is, let me just die. So the only way to deal with that is, it's really important to check up on people, talk to them, find out what is going on with them, what kind of help you can give them, we can give them. Because once gone to those extents, yes, medication does work, but they need somebody that brings them back on the rail.
Let's talk about ways to improve our mental health in women.
Okay, so basically the first thing would be conscientization. Conscientization is educating people, basically, whereby we're saying that we're teaching people that things are there. For example, you were even surprised that with postpartum depression, a person can be mute for 2 years. So we're saying there are severe consequences to these mental illnesses. So let's educate people to understand that these things are there and they are real. You may not be experiencing it today, but you need to know about it so that when you're experiencing it, you seek help immediately before it gets to that stage.
All right.
And we also talk about self-care. It is important to look after yourselves as women out there. Do things that make you happy. Find motivation through doing what you love. Take care of yourselves. Eating good food, taking yourself out, doing this fun activities.
I don't say taking yourself out.
To breathe, it's part of self-care. Because the moment you're expecting some people to keep on doing that for you, and they don't do it for you, it breaks your mental, it breaks you down. You have a mental breakdown.
All right.
You want so much, you're expecting so much, but you're getting less. But if you're used to saying eating health, used to even just taking yourself out for a breather, you're taking care of yourself. If you don't get that, you are able to stay afloat. Basically, that's the idea. Because we expect so much, even of our husbands, of our brothers, and of our sisters. I'm your sister, for example, and I expect so much that you need to do for me. You need to give me this. But when I don't get that, what do I do? When I'm stressed, what do I end up doing?
All right.
That's when you find out some people are triggering these diseases through substance because they couldn't get something at home. But if we're not able to cope and understand that, we are prone to breaking down. So part of self-care involves even those things like taking yourself out. It's really important. It is also important to get a support system. We need to support these people. Support each other. If somebody is going through something, some sort of illness, or through some stress, through some depression, find out, because you need a support system that keeps you afloat. Somebody is telling you, okay, fine, today is bad, but it's not always going to stay bad. It's going to get better. At some point, you get hopeful, you get the idea, you get the hang of it. So basically, people need support systems to keep on going. So we need to support women. We need to support them. Empowering them, it's part of it. We also need to seek therapy.
Therapy?
Yes.
Do you think therapy is relevant, especially in an environment like here?
It is relevant. You guys seek therapy, but you just don't get it from a professional, and you don't. That's why, and that as well results in you having a mental breakdown, because you say, it's too English, it's done by white people. Hey, I'm a black person, I don't go and speak to a professional stranger about my problems. But sometimes you go to those relatives or friends that you tell about those problems. And when they go around telling those people, those problems to people, you break down again. But you were speaking to them and they were not even giving you professional help. And it's leaked out there. You're walking out, everyone knowing your story. Whereas you can go and seek therapy, get help from professionals, which help you and who do not disclose your information to anyone. And you're able to walk out feeling better, having a better perspective of life. So we tend to tarnish therapy, but we don't understand that it's better to speak to a professional person than to speak to even your friend who will tell on the next person, and the next person tells the next person. And when everyone knows your story,
and that will break you down. You are down like
you're down. And are you going to rise up? It's going to take a while. Whereas you can just speak to a professional, they help you, they give you ideas, they support you. It's part of therapy. You get through a lot. So yeah.
Oh, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much for such insightful words of advice. I think a lot of people just see it as very, very helpful.
Yeah, I'm glad.
That's a wrap. My name is Tanyara Zamandara, and it was nice having you on this podcast, on this episode. So till next time. Adios.
Thank you.
Mandara Wadiko.